On a hot July 1st, 1863, the indomitable Army of Northern Virginia under General Robert E. Lee went head-to-head with the mighty Army of the Potomac under General George Meade. The 85,000 members of the Union Army and 75,000 members of the Confederate Army would make history. The Battle of Gettysburg was the largest battle in terms of casualties ever fought on North American soil. A total of 53,000 dead, missing, or wounded. The 3 days individually each ranked in the top 15 of single-day battles, Antietam being the record holder for a single-day battle, ironically also on northern soil in Maryland. The significance of Gettysburg in the Civil War cannot be underscored. This was the high water mark for the Confederacy. The loss here, along with the loss at Vicksburg, would mark the beginning of the end of the Confederacy. Many people look at the Union Army and think of Grant and Sherman. They deserve the praise they get, but George Meade held the line at Gettysburg for the success of Sherman and Grant to happen. The town of Gettysburg suffered greatly. The volume of people that occupied the town were more than the town could handle. The sheer volume of horses and horse gun was overwhelming. Jenny Wade, the only civilian casualty at Gettysburg, was shot by a Confederate sharpshooter in the back, mistaking her for a Union soldier. The Confederate Army on the third day would quit the field and head back south. The Union Army used the town for troop hospitalization, the severed limbs stacked in piles. This battle moved Lincoln to write one of the most memorable, if not shortest speeches in history, the Gettysburg Address. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth onto this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause, for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not have perished from the earth.